What's up, gamers? It's your boy. Welcome back to Af-Rui-Ka. Today I'm building a Hoofstock yard for the Addicts, the Dama Gazelle, which were both part of the Arid Animal Pack, as well as the Gemsbok, because why not? I know not everyone is always excited about ungulates and building for ungulates and ungulates being added to the game, which is why a lot of people were not super thrilled about the Arid Animal Pack. But I think the ungulates that we got in that pack were like the best ones that we've gotten in the entire game. Like, they are so well designed and they're just really cool looking animals, just like super unique, and like I just like these guys a lot, even though the pack itself was a little lackluster. But anyways, here I'm building this little rock structure, and I have a purpose for building this. I'll get into this like all the way at the end of the video. I'll explain why that's where I put it. Then I used free build to make this double fence look to keep the guests and animals separate. And then here I start using these trees, and I stand way back because I want to like use these trees to frame my shot, the view as I walk up to this habitat. And again, I'll get into the whole view / shot thing at the end of the video, what I'm going for here. It'll all make sense later on. So then I start working on the shelter building, and this time I was actually intelligent and I put the building on the world axis. And this just makes manipulating groups of pieces a lot easier, because then you're not trying to, fight with the funky duplicating whatever, blah blah blah. Here I start using these like column pieces because I didn't like how sharp the corners of the building were, the right angles. I wanted this building to be more like poorer, I guess you could say, like more poorly designed than the rhino habitat, not in like a bad way, in like an intentional way. So I wanted the edges to look more rough, so I tried using like these plaster pillar things, and it kind of worked out the way I wanted it to, sort of. I don't know. There was a lot of things that I was like just kind of figuring things out as I went on this build, because I wasn't sure what I wanted exactly. Wasn't always satisfied with what I decided to do right away, so I changed things. You can see here this trim that I have going around the top. I deleted that later on because I just didn't think it actually looked that good. And there, see that's the trim that I ended up using, is this like castle rampart looking things. And then I put those balconies down and I got rid of them. I switched them out for these other balconies. I was trying to like figure things out as I go. Something that I picked up from another YouTuber, Leader. I was looking at some of his stuff, and he did like a concept drawing of one of his builds before he actually made it, and I'm like, I can draw. Maybe I should try that sometime. I should like draw what I have in mind before I try and make it in the game, because if I just try and like make something in the game, then I'm not really gonna, I don't know, have a plan, and I'm just gonna start doing random stuff, and you might work, you might not work, I don't know. Here I'm making like these little like custom balcony things. They're not really functional. Most of this building is just a facade, and I'm not really planning on doing super detailed interiors. I was planning on doing detailed interiors for like backstage areas and stuff back when I was still calling this Irwin Memorial Zoo, but now I'm just trying to finish this zoo, and so like I don't need to make things where the guests aren't gonna see them super pretty. Again, I'm recording this at 10:30, so forgive my tiredness. But yeah, I'm just trying to finish this suit. That's all I want to do. Is I want to finish this, and I want to have it look good, and that's it. So, but I think all in all, I'm pretty happy with the way this building looks, the way it turned out in the end. Again, I have to turn this more into the shadow later on, which, again, I complain about the lighting in this game pretty frequently, even though I shouldn't, because I love this game. But it's because I love it that I complain about it sometimes. But yeah, the lighting in this game, when things are in the shadow, they just don't look very good. It's unfortunate. And then, just to try to make it look more realistic, more rough, start going with the decals, splatting them on everywhere. But these like pillar things are not perfectly flat, so there's little parts where the decal will actually just be floating off the wall. I did my best to try and avoid that, and you know, as long as people don't look too closely, it's fine. And that's kind of the point, is things just kind of get put in the back and then you can't see them too closely. Like with the animals I picked to put in this enclosure, the Damagazelle and the Adix are brand new animals added to the game, whereas the Gemsbok has been in since day one. And if you look really closely at the details on the new animals compared to the Gemsbok, it's like a night and day difference. The level of detail on the Adix and the Damagazelle is just nuts. It's absolutely crazy. But then you look at the Gemsbok and you're like, oh, it's okay. It's whatever. I start working on a little fence to put in the background here. Just a little custom fence. In the past I had the habit of just putting rock walls everywhere around every single habitat. And that's how I enclose the animals in. Just every single habitat, just put rock walls everywhere. And like, there's nothing wrong with using rock walls to, you know, fence in your animals, but like when you do it in every single habitat, it starts to look kind of repetitive. So I actually, you know, put in a little effort to make these little custom fences. Oh my gosh, I need to go to bed. I have to work tomorrow. Also did not sleep last night because reasons. Anyway, yeah, so I made these little custom fence. It's nothing spectacular, but it honestly doesn't need to be. Like, when you go to zoos in real life, not everything is super fancy. And I try to make things look fancy in this game, when really that's not necessary. Even though I don't necessarily like the city zoo look that a lot of people go for. It's not really to knock anyone else's design choices or what they want to do. It's just like, there's so many people who make just city zoos in the temperate biome specifically, and it's very like realistic, which is a good thing. But like, I don't know, I kind of like how you can take this game and make things a little more fantastical at times. Something I noticed is that like with the Western community of this game, like America, Europe, a lot of people are very focused on realism. But then if you like go to the workshop and you find like an Asian build it's just like got a name and some Asian characters and I can't even read it. Like a lot of the times their builds are like just crazy, fantastical, like super, I don't know, fantasy builds. It's just like really cool and kind of interesting to see the difference in styles between the people on like Asia and stuff. I don't know. There's some really cool Asian creations out there by the Asian community. I don't know if maybe there are Asian YouTubers that make videos on this game. I haven't seen any, but I know that the stuff they make is cool. I do like that. So yeah, as I've been rambling on about that, just finishing up the details on this habitat. It's basically the same style as the rhino. Dang it! I yawned again. Same style as the rhinos. It's like literally right on the other side of this habitat, which is not necessarily ideal, I feel, for like viewing. You don't want to have like habitats where you're just like walking through on a path and like on both sides of you there is a habitat on both sides, because that creates like a conflicting view. Again, I'm gonna explain what I mean by what I say conflicting views at the end of this video, and I'm going to show like some things I tried to do to avoid creating conflicting views for the rhinos and these ungulates over here. Anyways, running out of things to say, brain shutting down. A question I had, I don't know how many people, I've only get like a couple comments on my videos. You know, I've only got 50 something subs. Oh, I hit 50 subs. I'm like past 50 subs now, but that was exciting. Anyways, a question I had to ask, I wanted to see what people's responses would be, is what is your favorite zoo in Planet Zoo? What's your favorite community creation? My personal favorite is probably Hoofstock Park. That was a zoo that got built a long time ago, like in the early days. I think like South American pack, like that was the latest pack when that zoo came out. But like it's really like such a cool looking zoo. And whoever created that, I don't even know, like put like some really nice like elevation in it, so you walk up and it's on a big hill. I kind of mentioned that in one of my other videos, is like building things on flat terrain can be kind of boring, but then if you make lots of hills, that adds like a certain visual appeal that you just don't get building on flat ground. Anyways, here I'm building a little custom feeder, because we don't have feeders like this in the game, and it really kind of makes me sad, because the only like herbivore feeders that we have are like those ones that look like those spinny playground toy things that are probably super dangerous, but they're also really fun. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. The ones where you like sit on them and you grab it and then like the entire thing spins around in a circle. We have the feeders that look like that, but like those feeders don't look very good. I wish we had feeders like this. This is the kind of thing that you'll see more often in zoos, is like for like herbivores, Hoofstock specifically. You'll see stuff like this, and we just don't have things like this in the game that are functional. But you know, it is what it is. I guess we just have to make things on our own, and that's the beauty of this game, is you can really just make anything. You can literally create anything in this game. There's all things are possible within the realm of Planet Zoo. But this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about conflicting views and avoiding them. So you walk up here and you see the ungulate building in the back, and you start walking towards that. But as you walk up, the fence kind of blocks your view into that habitat, but it's fine because on the left side your view gets opened up towards the rhinos, and so you're like, wow, cool, these are the rhinos. And then you walk down a little bit further, and after you've seen the rhinos, then your view kind of alternates back towards the ungulates, because now your view has opened up over here. So you keep walking down, and there's actually like some rocks behind here and toward the rhino habitat that kind of conflicts or blocks your view there, excuse me. And then as you come over here, this rock structure that I built in the very beginning of the video, it starts to obstruct your view into the ungulate habitat. But that's fine, because then the rhino habitat opens back up and you can alternate your view back over into this habitat. So if you get what I'm saying, like you don't want to look at two different things at the same time. You don't want to feel like you have to. You can look back at one thing and then back at the other thing and the other way. And then going around this corner here, there's going to be like a restaurant or something that I'm going to build here. I don't know yet. Something fancy that you are drawn to, so that you keep moving down the path. And then you can look back and forth between the habitats. And then finally you have like one more view into the ungulate habitat. There's a Dama gazelle scratching itself on the tree, and that's what I mean from that. I got this idea from Eben. Gotta throw a shout out there. Eben's a wonderful Planet Zoo creator. Go subscribe to him. But yeah, that's where I learned that tip, technique, whatever you want to call it. And that's all in this video. partes. We're at the end now. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, whatever you want to do, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.